everybody, and welcome to Battle of the Beast, Insects Only, the final round, episode number 14. And yes, the final battle of Battle of the Beast Series 5 is here. We've only started it roughly 2 weeks ago at this point, maybe a little bit longer. But yes, we're finally at the end. Such a short tournament, and honestly, a fun one. I've had fun doing this tournament. We started with 15 beasts, and now we're down to 2. So, with these 2 beasts, they both earned their spot here, fought their way through every round, and got some great kills along the way. Let's introduce them. So, representing both of them are representing the specials. So, for the first special beast to be introduced, has killed Vespic the Wasp Queen in round 1. Quagos the Armored Beetle in round 2, and Tyrantix the Bone Spider in round 3. Now in the finals, wanting to redeem herself from falling at the final hurdle in the Specials Generation Tournament, losing to Raksha in the finals, it is of course Creta the Winged Terror versus her opponent, the killer of Sting the Scorpion Man in round 1, Amixis the Bug Queen in round 2, and Larnak the Swarming Menace in round 3. Quite a diverse array of insects this beast killed in this tournament, and also participated in the Special Generation tournament, but died in round 1, and died quite early in the All Generation tournament as well. More than redeemed herself, but wanting to go that one step further to solidify herself as, a beast that you should not give a second glance to, one that you should know how powerful this one is. I'm of course talking about Skolo, the bladed monster. So the final battle, Creta versus Skolo. Okay, when I did the draft and knowing that these two are the only special beasts here, I was thinking, how funny would it be if these two go against each other at one point? I did not think it'd be the finals. Okay, but evaluating these beasts, I do think they both deserve to make it here. They both did incredible. There's this one I kind of expected to make it far, and Skolo, I will be honest, I was surprised she made it this far. But after her defeat of Larnak, I'm just thinking, yeah, you actually do deserve to be here. So yeah, I had my doubts on Skolo, but yeah, she earned her spot here, and Creta earned her spot here, getting lots of really good kills, especially Tyrantix and Quagos, if you ask me. But yeah, we're now at the final battle. And for that, let's get to the stats. Starting with Creta the Winged Terror. This beast is made of countless flying insects forming a column which then sprouts arms and wings. Creta has terrifying fangs and 2 mighty horns. Age 227, power 281, magic level 170, fright factor 90, size 290. Powers and abilities: Stabia Physiology, Deformation and Reformation, Flight, Fire, Heat and Lava Resistance, Enhanced Durability, Absorption, and Natural Weaponry. Her minions are the Stabias, which make up her body, and her weakness is water. And now Skolo the Bladed Monster. If it had not been for Avantia's ruler, King Hugo, being infected with the rare deadly Skolodine poison, Tom would not have to venture into the Darkmoor caves in search of an antidote, and it is possible that this giant steel-winged centipede beast would have remained unseen in her lair for many, many years. Age 392, power 285, magic level 183, fright factor 94, size 297. Powers and abilities: Stabia Physiology, wrong one. Powers and abilities: Adhesive Breath, Natural Weaponry, and likely Skolodine Immunity. Weaknesses: cannot fit into small spaces. Apologies, Skolo, for that mess up on the abilities page. It won't happen again. And with that is the stats department done for another series. So, this battle of the Winged Terror versus the Bladed Monster is going to take place in the cave arena, which has been introduced for this tournament. and has gradually updated throughout this tournament. We're going to have the water coming down from the side of the arena, going into bottomless holes at the bottom. And yeah, this is what we're going to do, and this is what I think will make a good battle. Now, I'm aware Creta's weakness is water, but don't worry, it's a cave. Bear in mind what Skolo's weakness is, so it's fine. So, with that, let's get into this fight. The final fight of the Insects Generation tournament. Well, Insects Only tournament. So that, let's do this. As the chamber doors open, Skolo immediately leaps out of her chamber and roars into the arena, shaking the entire walls like she did in the last battle. As Creta just stays in her chamber, creating a loud buzzing noise coming from in there. Skolo, unsure of what's to come, just stares at the chamber when suddenly Creta, in her full glory, leaps out of the chamber, moving as fast as light, hits Skolo and pins her down to the ground immediately, where Creta immediately takes to the sky, hoisting all of Skolo up and chucks her into the wall of the arena. Skolo hits the wall of the arena with her metallic armor and gets a grip hold of herself where she scuttles around the wall of the arena, shooting adhesive towards Creta. Creta dodges all the adhesive almost effortlessly, not having a single Sabia get caught in that adhesive. Creta then charges up towards Skolo again. Skolo this time leaps off the wall and goes down to the ground as Creta barrels into the wall, shaking the whole arena violently. Creta regains herself and sees Skolo. As she charges towards Skolo, Skolo shoots up an adhesive at Creta. Creta dodges it, goes into a swarm form, and just shrouds Skolo's head. Skolo violently shakes, trying to slash, bites at any Stabia that she can. And some of the Stabias make their way into Skolo through her mouth, through her eyes, and every other orifice that's around this beast. But they don't go all the way down in her yet. They just stay inside and stay completely still. As Skolo's violently shaken, she doesn't notice this, and then Creta backs away and reforms up. Skolo, confused by this, doesn't even think about that and just shoots adhesive straight towards Creta. Creta dodges it again and then charges up towards Skolo in her full form. As Skolo goes to slash at her with her wing, the slash goes right through Creta. Creta immediately reforms it and pins Skolo down to the ground. The insects inside of Skolo now start writhing around in her. Skolo starts shaking uncontrollably, trying to shake them out, bashing her head against the floor of the arena. But Creta, holding her head steady, pins her head to the ground. Creta then starts to bite down into Skolo's underbelly. Skolo screeches in pain, causing Creta to lose focus a bit, but still remain firm. Skolo then remembered her last battle. So using her tail, she tries to wrap her tail around a stalactite and lifts it up, waiting very patiently behind Creta without Creta noticing. Creta bites down onto Skolo again, and the Skolo screeches in pain, causing discomfort for the Stabias, where Creta immediately brings her tail down, stabbing the Stabia body of Creta. Creta screeches in pain, causing more discomfort for the Stabias, where Skolo is able to break free, bash her head against the wall of the arena, causing the Stabias inside of her to die from blunt force trauma, and the stalactites at the top of the arena to fall. Skolo gets her distance away from Creta as Creta's regaining herself, and as the stalactites fall, Skolo lifts her tail and bashes them all directly towards Creta. Creta regains herself and stares at the incoming impact, where they all penetrate her head, body, everywhere. Creta screeches in pain at this, deforms and then reforms up, roaring in anger at this, and charges up towards Skolo, who's just standing there, completely unfazed by this roaring that Creta's trying to do to intimidate this beast. As Creta darts forward towards Skolo, Skolo immediately dives to the side at the last minute, and Creta is greeted by a waterfall right behind Skolo. Creta at this point has too much momentum to slow down and barrels right into this very narrow waterfall, by the way. Any Sabia that came into contact with the water immediately fell down into the water and drowned instantly. Creta screeches as she reels back, reforms up, slightly smaller now, roaring in anger. As she turns around, she's greeted by adhesive hitting the side of her head as it's spreading around her head. She sees Skolo shooting more adhesive at her, catching her arms, her body, her wings, her horns. Creta falls down to the ground because her wings were caught, and she feels the adhesive spreading, so she goes into a swarm form, and now half the size of what she was beforehand, and sees that the rest of her form is bound together by this adhesive, where Creta, in frustration, forms up and smashes them all, shattering them all, knocking them into the water, everything, out of rage. Skolo sees this and realizes that this beast is a psychopath. She would kill herself just to get her way. Skolo, seeing this though, temporarily loses focus of that as she winces in pain from the bites that she got from Creta. She sees that there's some stabias hanging around near her wounds and goes to pick them off with her mouth. And as she does that, she looks up, see Creta barreling towards her, bending Skolo's head right into her underbelly, pinning Skolo down. Skolo gets a bright idea and shoots adhesive at her wounds, covering up her wounds completely, so that way Skolo doesn't have her wounds out in the open. She then curls her whole body round Creta's body and pulls, so then Creta's now half weaker than what she currently is. So Skolo can break free from that, shoots a bunch of adhesive at Creta. Creta gets knocked back and is greeted by all this adhesive coming for her. She dodges some of it, gets hit by some, pins some of her limbs to the wall, but she deforms and flies up towards Skolo, being greeted by tons and tons of adhesive. Creta decides that this is it. She splits herself into her swarms and forms up into 5 mini versions of her. Skolo, caught off guard by this, did not expect this to happen, and she sees 5 versions of Creta, flying straight towards her. Skolo lifts up her tail and goes to slash at them with her wings, shoot adhesive. They're all dodging it very quickly, lightning fast, and they all attack Skolo. Some slashing, some biting, going for her armor, but it doesn't seem to be doing anything. But 2 of the Cretas behind Skolo form up, pin down 2 of Skolo's wings, and pushing against Skolo, pushes her arms down though, snapping those wings. Skolo screeches in pain at that, but also in awe at that brute strength that Creta has just shown. The other 3 Cretas swarm up, distracting Skolo, but for one of the Cretas were able to sneak up at Skolo and scratch at her underbelly, scratching away. Skolo wraps her tail around that Creta form, which deswarms and forms up with the other 2 Skolo Cretas in front of her. Skolo, confused by this, shoots adhesive at them, protecting her underbelly at this point. As the Creta on top of her makes her way along Skolo's back and snaps more at the wings almost instantly. Skolo then turns around, shoots adhesive at that one, pinning it to the wall as some stabias get away. But at that point, she realized she took her eyes off the other ones, where she turns around, she's greeted, being pinned down, her mouth completely covered up by Stabius, forcing it shut against the wall of the arena. As most of Creta stays in that form, pinning Skolo's mouth shut, as other Stabias bite down at Skolo, causing Skolo immense pain. But and Skolo starts screeching. At which point, Cressa is losing focus and concentration, but she decides that she knows a way to stop this. She slices at Skolo's neck right around here, and reaches in with one of her claws and pulls out the vocal cords. The screeching instantly stops, and Skolo gasps, realizing what's just happened. Cressa lets out a buzzing sound, which sounds almost like a mocking laughter. And Skolo realized what's going to happen. Cressa immediately lets go of Skolo. As Skolo gets back up, tries to roar, but nothing happens. She tries to shoot an adhesive at Cressa, but barely leaves her mouth. Skolo realizes what's just happened as she feels blood dripping from her neck down her entire body. Cressa then forms up into the full form, as much as can do, dives down, and charges straight towards Skolo. Skolo, still in shock by this, gets pinned down quite easily, being showered by water as the water splashing off her armor, hitting some Stabias there and there. Cressa's like, okay, get to safety. They go into the wound that's in Skolo's neck, and all of them go into that wound, biting down at the vital organs of Skolo, on her neck, her body, everywhere. Skolo's writhing in pain but can't seem to make a sound whatsoever. She's trying to bash herself against the wall, but she feels too weak to do it because of her wounds. She goes under the water to try and shower them out, but that's just causing her pain as well because the water's going in her. It's killing Stabius, but it's killing her in the process. She takes a step back. She's gasping, trying to figure out what to do. She's struggling. She doesn't know what to do. She feels her body getting weaker, knowing that she can't fight this beast who's now inside of her. She doesn't know how many Stabias are still alive in there, but she realizes she needs to bite the bullet. She turns her direction towards the river and dives right into it, covering her entire wound into that and using her legs to scratch away at the adhesive that was on her other wounds, let the water flow into her. The Stabias inside of Creta are screeching as they slowly get swallowed up, and Skolo is just very weakly being able to keep her eyes open. Eventually, Skolo makes her way out of the water, thinking that everything is fine. She's gasping for breath, dripping so much blood. The spectators are just looking, thinking, what's happened here? This is not what it was meant to be at all. One was supposed to win, but they don't know where Creta is, and Skolo's half dead already. Eventually, though, after what seems like ages of Skolo just standing there, they see movement coming from underneath Skolo's underbelly, and a few Stabias escape to form up Creta, a very small version of Creta, probably a fifth, not even a tenth of a fraction smaller than what Creta was originally. And they stare each other down, Creta knowing she's so much weaker than Skolo. But Skolo's just there, clutching on for dear life, unable to do anything. As they stare each other down, eventually, one falls. And with that, the intercom comes up, and Philip announces that this beast is the winner. In a sigh of relief, the beast that won just stays on the ground, and just looks up at the arena, around at the spectators cheering their name, and just realizes that she's done it. She's won. After a humiliating defeat in the All Generation tournament, dying quite early, she finally done it. She finally won. She makes her way back to her chamber, satisfied with the victory, knowing that she fought well, but having a bit of a change of heart, knowing that her opponents fought well as well. Didn't deserve such violent deaths. No beast deserved a violent death. So this beast won, but had a bit of a change of heart in the process, knowing the pain that this beast went through. But so did the others. So yeah, I think that's a good way. Yeah, the fight is done. And I think that was a good way to end this battle. But ultimately, we know what you all came here for. Who was the winner out of these two? So with that, it is my honour as the host of this tournament. The winner of Battle of the Beast Series 5 Insects Only is none other than Creta the Winged Terror. Okay, this was an insane fight. Oh god, I don't know which one was better between her and Skolo or her and Tyrantix. Okay. Where do I begin? Okay. Right. Skolo fought well. Skolo fought well. Don't let that change your opinion on her. She did fantastic. She earned her spot in the finals more than definitely. But Creta, okay, Skolo put up a really good fight against this swarming beast. She used techniques that she learnt in her previous fight against Larnak against her. She used her experience in a cave against Creta as well. However, Creta learns from her mistakes. And once she's able to outsmart and apprehend Skolo, that's when Creta won. Having a stare down between these two beasts who went through so much pain, stare each other down, waiting for the other to fall, I think was a fitting way to end this tournament after so many brutal, gruesome deaths, in fact, with the tamest one being one drowning. Yeah, I do believe that was a great way to end that fight. And with Creta being a winner, being the runner-up of the Special Generation Tournament, and dying in round 2 in the All Generation Tournament like Skolo did, I think is fitting that, yeah, she had a humiliating defeat to Koba in the All Generation Tournament, which I kept quite quiet, might I add. But yeah, Creta, I think, is the right winner. I think it wasn't really much. Looking at the whole list of bug-like beasts, there were ones that could put up a good fight against Creta, and there were ones that did. However, Creta was the only beast that went into this tournament with a reputation of being one that made it to either the semi-finals or the finals. So she was looked at as the favourite to win. So I decided for a nice arc for Creta to put her as one that shows no mercy, completely intent on bloodlust and death. And yeah, I think I did that. But then I decided I'm going to end it with her having a change of heart. And that's what that was. I said during that standoff that I accidentally said the word they instead of she, because they're both female, and then saying they, that just gave away which one won. But yeah, I think Creta more than deserved this victory. She was expected to make it far, and to know that she finally won a tournament, I think, is a great full circle moment for her after coming so close before. So yeah, Creta the Winged Terror is my winner. You think Skolo should have won? Please comment what you think. But however, my words final, and Creta is this champion for season 5. But Skolo did incredible, and throughout this entire tournament, not just this fight. And she's earned my respect. Actually, I I do actually have appreciation for this beast now. Despite the abilities being very lacking, she uses them effectively. And she was able to put up some incredible fights. She took down Larnak, and I was surprised by that one. I thought Larnak was going to win. But Skolo winning that fight, making it to the finals, and almost beating Creta, I think deserves Skolo to have some recognition. But with that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, your comment, don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed this tournament, please let me know. I do have a plan for the next tournament that I'll be doing. We're going to have a bit of a short break, not too long of a break though, probably a week from when I recorded this video. And the next time I have a free date, when I decide to, I'll introduce the next tournament. It will be soon though. But first, I gotta do a couple other videos. And with that, Creta is our champion, and I've been Adam. Peace out.